Hello everyone, so welcome to my channel. It's a glorious day outside, it's not raining, so I thought it would be a great time for me to plant some tulips. I actually started working outside and then I thought it would be a great idea for me just to film it and share with you guys how easy it is to actually plant tulips. So I have actually a mixture of tulips, iris and daffodils. So this is a daffodil. So you usually have two types of ways you can pick your bulbs. So you can pick up already pre-made bags, which that's what they are. They're already pre-made and you just buy them. Or you can buy loose bulbs. Basically, in loose bulbs, you'll have a big kind of container or basket full of daffodil or tulip bulbs, and all you do is just get a paper bag and you just fill it up with, usually it's 10 bulbs. It's a certain price, you buy it, and then then you've got it. So I usually like to write the name of the bulbs in a bag because I tend to forget it. Honestly, I generally tend to forget it. And sometimes you can even go and write down if the depth of the plant, what's it planting, the depth, the flower, you know, you can write everything down. It usually has a little leaflet or label together with the bulbs, and you can just write everything down on your paper bag, which is great. If you buy them already packed, it usually says it already on the package itself, what it is, how deep you have to plant it, how high up it grows. And then the back, it has like a quick information on how to plant it. They're so easy to plant, literally. 3 steps, look at that. Further to that, at the back, you can't really see it, but when you open it up, it has like further information about the kind of tulip you're growing. Or daffodil, if you're buying that. Sometimes they actually don't have any other information. So I got this from my local nursery. And usually local nurseries, they are designed for people that have a little bit more experience. But if you don't have experience with growing a certain type of tulip or daffodil, just ask them and they will let you know. I have actually bought so many plants from my local nursery, and I was able to just go over and ask how big do they grow, and what do you think it would be good for this type of condition, and they will let you know. They're really good for that. But I bought this from my local nursery. Look at that. Stunning. Love it. I think this would be a great combination with red. What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm a little bit crazy with my colours sometimes. Well, I'm going to pop outside and show you guys what I'm doing at the moment. Before I show you guys what I'm doing outside, I just want to share with you guys this beautiful view. My beautiful oak tree, the sun just poking through it, and my cherry blossom. Absolutely stunning. Anyway, back into the handing task. So I basically already spread my bulbs down on the floor. I've got some slow release fertilizer. This is actually organic fertilizer, and it has this fungi. This fungi is perfect for generate a good root system. So yeah, so this is a very good fungi to help with root system. As you can see, it says rose and shrub food, but I tend to use pretty much everywhere in my garden. You can buy this in your local garden centre. I can't really find this product online, but if you can, just leave a link down below if you can find one. But I can never find this product online, so I tend to buy it in my local garden centre. They've got this one, and they've got one for vegetables as well. So if you're growing your own vegetables, it's a great fertilizer. I absolutely love it. Every single rose that I've got tend to do really well when I use this fertilizer. So great to use. I recommend it. So the bulbs that I've got on the floor, it's called Angelic. It's a great bulb. I'm just going to put this underneath my fertilizer because I don't want it to fly everywhere. But basically, every single time you buy a bulb, like I said, it will tell you how deep they need to go. So these ones need to go 15 centimeters down, 13 centimeters apart. So they're a little bit closer than 13. I basically have a trowel, hopefully I'm saying that right, that has centimeters down on it. So it goes down to 10 centimeters, and I love it because it's pointy and I can go really deep down with it. And all I have to do is go as deep as the top of this trowel. Go as deep as the trowel, but I will go to the top, just right where the silver lining is, because they tend to grow about 45 centimeters up high, so they will be quite nice height. And I've got some crocus right close to the rose, so I think it will be such a beautiful colour. I've got, I think it's purple, white, and white and purple stripy one in here. I've got them pretty much coming outwards, and then I've got 2 of those tulips already planted down on the ground. And that's where I was at, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just film it so you guys can see what I'm doing today. So I'm going to do that. I just kind of want to create a drift, and you have to bear that in mind that when you plant spring bulb, any kind of spring bulb, they will only flower for you in spring, okay? So it means that throughout the rest of the seasons you'll have a huge gap in your borders. I have a great example for you guys. I actually planted these 2 lavenders here. Look how big they have grown. I've planted them in beginnings of summer. Look at that. They were little babies, honestly. But this is where all my tulips are. I've got this kind of creeping crawler, what I tend to call. Absolutely love the foliage colour. But I've got tulips growing all over this place, and I've got some irises here as well. So the whole summer there is nothing growing in here. So what I want to do is actually pull every single bulb out in, well, ends of spring, hopefully. I'll mark them down and I'll pull them up, and then next year I can put them like drift around everything else. Okay, so that's my kind of idea. So I'll be digging these down, putting a little bit of slow release fertilizer, just a little bit at the bottom, and then I tend to fill it back up and put a little bit at the top. The reason that I put a little bit at the bottom is mainly because slow release fertilizer works their way down to the soil. So if you put it at the bottom, you have to think it goes down, which means that once the roots start to go down, you'll have like something to kind of grab the food from. But if you put it at the top, then it means that slow release fertilizer will work down, and then eventually will catch up with the roots. So that's my way of thinking. This slow release fertilizer will last for 3 months. So I can then, if I want to, give another quick fertilizer. So we're October, I can put a little bit of fertilizer in January. The ground will be cold and will be probably frozen, but I can do that, and then I know when spring comes they will have enough food for them to grab. They do like their food. Talking a little bit about my soil tends to be towards the sandy side, which means I would love to show it to you guys. Basically it's very free drainage, so plants that love moisture don't tend to do that well in my garden. You would think my roses wouldn't do well, but roses tend to be drought tolerant, and actually they do like well drained soil. So what I tend to do is actually every spring I tend to give a little kind of, put a little compost or organic matter just on top of the soil, and that's enough to help with the moisture levels during the summertime. But then it means that in the summertime, when, like for example last summer, it was so hot, I literally had to water my whole flower bed at least every other day. which was insane. It was quite hard for me to keep on top of it, to be honest, but I enjoy it thoroughly. That's the enjoyable that you get from gardening. There's literally not much to show, you know, but hopefully I can update you guys in spring and show you guys how they look and if the combination looks well. But a little advice, a lot of people tend to dig up tulips. I don't tend to do that. One of the main reasons is because people are afraid of kind of overwatering, because if you've got other plants around it, you tend to obviously water them in summertime, but a lot of people are afraid to, you know, water around them because they tend to rot. My best advice is, if you're planning to put, you know, plants around it, is to put them as deep as you can. For example, behind this rose I've got a little gap here, and I was thinking of actually growing some salvias in this area here, and I was thinking of taking all of those bulbs out because they don't actually tend to look like that in summer. They actually don't even exist. They don't even, you can't even see them basically. So putting a salvia behind this rose, it will look amazing. If you're thinking of doing that, just my best advice is to put as deep as you can down on the ground. So if it says go down 15 centimeters, go down a little bit lower. For example, go down to about 17 centimeters, and that should give you enough to not have the bulbs sitting in water, because they hate that. Okay. You can also grow tulips indoors if you want to force them indoors. If you want to force them indoors, actually, I have one of the bulbs in the bag which is actually starting to sprout. But basically, if you want to grow them indoors, just give them a cool environment for a few weeks, and then you can plant them up. And then they should sprout for you. Just give them a warm place, and then they should sprout for you. One of the bulbs that I actually bought, I didn't really have to do that. So I basically just got to try and grow it inside, because it's starting to give little shoots from it. So I'm going to see if I can do that. But yeah, just going to dig the hole, put a bit of fertilizer, fill it up a little bit more fertilizer, and then I'll cover the rest, put the stones back on top, and that's how I basically mulch it. I actually have landscape fabric underneath this flower bed, and it was already here. I don't really recommend having fabric, you know, landscape fabric in a flower bed, especially if it's a flower bed that you're constantly going to plant. You know, it's not ideal, but I am slowly trying to take and get rid of this. But the stones, I think, is probably the hardest thing for me to get rid of. That is it for today. You can also plant the tulips in pots if you want to. The same thing, just give them a cool area for them to grow. I actually have my cold frame greenhouse, which I grow plants in there. And that's enough if you've got a cold greenhouse, or if you've got a cold frame that leaves outside. Just put the pot in it, and then in spring you'll have some balloons in which you can just move the pot around and put it in a nice place for it. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch more videos, please subscribe and press that ring button down below. If you've got any questions about tulips, just leave a comment and I'll try my best to answer to you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.